What if I told you that the answer to your declining energy, your shrinking confidence, your fading strength, and your disappearing drive is sitting right there in your kitchen in a small handful of nuts that most men over 50 completely ignore or worse? Eat the wrong ones every single day without knowing they are silently destroying the one hormone that makes them feel like a man. What if the difference between feeling 35 and feeling 75 at the age of 50 is not some expensive surgery, not some dangerous injection, not some magic pharmaceutical pill that your doctor prescribes, but 5 simple, affordable, natural nuts that your grandfather probably ate without even knowing their power? What if I told you that 2 of those nuts you eat right now, the ones you think are healthy, the ones you buy from that fancy health store, the ones that say good for heart on the label, are actually working against your testosterone every single morning, every single day, slowly and silently turning your male hormones into female hormones inside your own body? Stay with me today, because what you are about to learn in the next few minutes could completely change how you feel, how you look, how you perform, and how you live for the rest of your life. This is not just information. This is the truth that most men over 50 desperately need, and nobody is telling them. What if the most powerful thing you could do for your testosterone, your energy, your strength, and your manhood costs less than $5 and fits in the palm of your hand? Today, we are going to talk about something so simple, so accessible, so completely overlooked, that when you hear this, you are going to wonder why nobody told you this before. We are going to talk about nuts. But not just any nuts. We're going to talk about the 5 specific nuts that every man over 50 absolutely must eat every single day to protect, preserve, and even boost his testosterone naturally, and the 2 nuts that are secretly destroying everything. Let us start with the truth that most men are afraid to face. After the age of 50, your body is going through a war. A silent war, a hormonal war, and testosterone is losing. Every single year after the age of 30, testosterone drops by 1 to 2%. By the time you reach 50, you have already lost somewhere between 20 and 30% of your peak testosterone. And what does that feel like? It feels like waking up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep. It feels like looking in the mirror and not recognizing the man looking back at you. It feels like losing interest in the things that once excited you. It feels like your body is slowly betraying you. And here is the most shocking part. Most men accept this. They think this is just aging. They think this is normal. But it is not normal. It is preventable. And it starts with what you put in your mouth every single morning. The first nut that every man over 50 must eat daily is the Brazil nut. And this is not just any recommendation. This is backed by hard science that will shock you. Brazil nuts are the single richest food source of selenium on this entire planet. Just 2 Brazil nuts, not 20, not a handful, just 2. Give your body 100% of its daily selenium requirement. Now, why does selenium matter so much for testosterone? Because selenium directly feeds your Leydig cells. These are the specialized cells in your testes that are literally responsible for manufacturing testosterone. Without adequate selenium, these cells become sluggish, they become damaged, they become inefficient, and your testosterone production crashes. Studies have shown that men with low selenium levels have significantly lower testosterone than men with optimal selenium levels. And here is what makes this even more dramatic. Selenium is not just a testosterone booster, it is also a powerful antioxidant that protects your sperm and your reproductive cells from oxidative damage. Oxidative stress is one of the most destructive hidden forces working against male hormonal health after 50. And 2 Brazil nuts every morning, eaten before breakfast, on an empty stomach for maximum absorption, can begin reversing this damage within weeks, not months, weeks. The second nut on this list is one that many men eat, but very few eat correctly, and that is the walnut. Walnuts look like a brain for a reason. They are extraordinarily complex in their nutritional architecture. But what most men do not know is that walnuts are one of the most potent sources of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids in existence. Specifically, they contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which your body converts into the building blocks needed for hormone synthesis. Here is what you must understand about testosterone. It is a steroid hormone, and steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. But not just any cholesterol. You need the right kind of healthy fats to produce the right quality of testosterone. Walnuts provide those healthy fats in abundance. But there is something even more powerful happening with walnuts that almost nobody talks about. They dramatically reduce cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And cortisol and testosterone have a directly inverse relationship inside your body. When cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. This is biological law. This is not debatable. Walnuts, through their combination of omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and vitamin E, have been shown in clinical studies to reduce cortisol levels significantly. When your cortisol comes down, your testosterone naturally rises. And for men over 50 who are living stressful, demanding, high-pressure lives, this is not just helpful. This is transformational. A handful of raw, unsalted walnuts every day is like giving your hormonal system a daily shield against one of its biggest enemies. The third nut, and this one surprises almost every man who hears it, is the pine nut. Small, delicate, often overlooked, usually just thrown on a salad and forgotten. But pine nuts carry one of the most impressive hormonal profiles of any nut on earth. Pine nuts are extraordinarily rich in zinc. And zinc, if you do not already know this, is the single most important mineral for testosterone production in the male body. Zinc is so critical to testosterone that researchers have literally proven that even a mild zinc deficiency can reduce testosterone levels by as much as 74%. 74%. Think about that. You could be living with drastically suppressed testosterone simply because you are not getting enough zinc in your daily diet. And zinc deficiency is far more common than most men realize, especially in men over 50, whose digestive systems have become less efficient at absorbing minerals from food. Pine nuts deliver zinc in a highly bioavailable form, meaning your body can absorb and use it quickly and efficiently. They also contain arginine, an amino acid that improves blood circulation and enhances the delivery of hormones and nutrients throughout the body. Combined, these effects make pine nuts one of the most underrated testosterone-supporting foods for men over 50 in the entire world. The fourth nut is one you have almost certainly heard of, but probably not in this context, and that is the almond. Now, almonds are famous for being healthy. Everyone knows this. Everyone says this, but the specific way in which almonds support testosterone after 50 is something very few people explain correctly. Almonds are one of the richest food sources of magnesium available in nature. And magnesium is absolutely essential for testosterone because of one critical mechanism. It blocks a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, also known as SHBG. Here's the problem with SHBG that most men over 50 are completely unaware of. As you age, your body produces more and more SHBG, and SHBG binds to your testosterone and makes it completely unusable. Even if your total testosterone levels look acceptable on a blood test, if your SHBG is high, you're free testosterone. The testosterone your body can actually use will be dangerously low. Magnesium actively competes with testosterone for SHBG binding sites, which means that higher magnesium levels result in more free, active, usable testosterone circulating in your blood. This is not a small effect. This is a fundamental mechanism of hormonal health. 23 almonds, which is exactly 1 ounce, eaten daily provides approximately 20% of your daily magnesium requirement. Combine this with magnesium from other food sources, and you have a powerful natural strategy for keeping your free testosterone at optimal levels well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Almonds also contain vitamin E, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory antioxidant that protects testosterone-producing cells from the kind of chronic oxidative damage that becomes increasingly common after 50. The fifth and final testosterone-boosting nut is the macadamia nut, and this one carries perhaps the most dramatic story of all. Macadamia nuts contain the highest concentration of monounsaturated fatty acids of any nut on Earth. We are talking about the same type of heart-healthy fat found in olive oil, but in an even more concentrated and bioavailable form inside a nut. Here is why this matters so profoundly for testosterone. Research has repeatedly demonstrated a strong, direct correlation between dietary fat intake and testosterone levels. Men who eat diets rich in healthy, monounsaturated fats consistently show significantly higher testosterone levels than men who follow low-fat diets. This is why the advice that was given to men for decades, eat low-fat, avoid fat, fat is bad, was not just wrong. It was hormonally catastrophic for millions of men. Fat is the raw material from which testosterone is built. You cannot build a hormone without its building blocks. Macadamia nuts give your body an extraordinarily rich supply of those building blocks in their cleanest, most natural form. They are also anti-inflammatory, they support cardiovascular health, and they improve insulin sensitivity, which is critically important because insulin resistance is directly linked to suppressed testosterone and elevated estrogen in men over 50. A small handful of macadamia nuts daily, approximately 10 to 12 nuts, can begin shifting your hormonal environment toward testosterone dominance rather than estrogen dominance within a matter of weeks. Now we arrive at the part of this conversation that most men do not want to hear, but absolutely need to hear. Because while those 5 nuts are working powerfully in your favor, there are 2 extremely common nuts that are working just as powerfully against you. And the tragedy is that millions of men eat them every single day, believing they are being healthy. The first testosterone-destroying nut is the flaxseed. And yes, while technically a seed rather than a nut, it is consistently grouped and sold with nuts in health food contexts, and its effect on male hormonal health is so devastating that it absolutely must be addressed here. Flax seeds are extraordinarily high in lignans, plant compounds that have a potent estrogenic activity inside the human body. When men consume large amounts of flax seeds regularly, these lignans enter the bloodstream and begin mimicking estrogen, stimulating estrogen receptors and actively suppressing testosterone production. Clinical studies have shown that regular flaxseed consumption in men can measurably reduce free testosterone levels and increase estrogen levels, creating exactly the opposite hormonal environment from what a man over 50 needs. And yet flaxseed is marketed everywhere as a superfood. It is in smoothies, in health bars, in protein powders. And most men have absolutely no idea what it is doing to their hormones. If you are a man over 50 who has been regularly consuming flaxseed and you have been experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, fatigue, low libido, mood changes, increased body fat around the belly and chest, this could be a significant contributing factor that nobody has told you about. The second testosterone-destroying nut is the processed, heavily salted, commercially roasted peanut, and the peanut butter that comes from it. Now here is where we must be precise and fair. Raw, natural peanuts in small amounts are not catastrophically harmful to testosterone. But the way most men consume peanuts, roasted, salted, packaged in plastic, or as commercial peanut butter loaded with hydrogenated oils and sugar, is a different story entirely. Commercial peanuts are one of the most heavily contaminated crops in the modern food supply. They are almost universally contaminated with aflatoxin, a mycotoxin produced by a mold that grows on peanuts during storage. Aflatoxin is not just a carcinogen. It is a direct endocrine disruptor that interferes with hormone production and liver function. And your liver is absolutely central to hormonal health because it is the organ responsible for metabolizing and regulating estrogen in your body. When the liver is stressed by toxins like aflatoxin, it becomes less efficient at clearing excess estrogen, which means estrogen builds up in the body and testosterone falls. Add to this the fact that commercial peanut butter often contains hydrogenated oils, which are trans fats. And trans fats have been directly linked to suppressed testosterone and reduced sperm quality in multiple large-scale studies. The man over 50 who is eating commercial peanut butter every morning thinking he is eating healthily is unknowingly creating a hormonal environment that works directly against everything he wants. So let us bring this together with complete clarity. Every single morning, the man over 50 who wants to protect and optimize his testosterone should be eating 2 Brazil nuts for selenium, a handful of walnuts for omega-3s and cortisol control, a small amount of pine nuts for zinc and circulation, 23 almonds for magnesium and free testosterone, and a small handful of macadamia nuts for monounsaturated fats and hormonal building blocks. And he should be consciously, deliberately avoiding or dramatically reducing his consumption of flaxseed products and commercial processed peanuts. This is not complicated. This does not require a prescription. This does not require a doctor's appointment. This does not require expensive supplements or painful injections. This requires 5 things: awareness, intention, consistency, a trip to the grocery store, and the willingness to take your hormonal health seriously starting today rather than waiting until the damage becomes irreversible. The men who thrive in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, who wake up with energy, who maintain their strength, who feel mentally sharp, who remain vibrant and vital and fully alive, are not the men who got lucky with their genetics. They are the men who made consistent, informed, daily choices about what they put in their bodies. They are the men who understood that testosterone is not just about sex drive or muscle. It is about quality of life. It is about confidence. It is about feeling like yourself. It is about being present for the people you love. It is about having the energy and the drive to pursue the things that matter to you. And it is absolutely worth protecting with every tool available to you. including the 5 extraordinary nuts we discussed today. The message of today is simple but profound. Your body is not betraying you. It is waiting for you to give it what it needs. Testosterone decline after 50 is real, but it is not inevitable in its severity. Nature has provided extraordinary tools, and 5 of them are nuts you can buy today, eat tomorrow morning, and feel the difference from within weeks. Identify the nuts that protect you. Eliminate the nuts that destroy you. Respect your body enough to feed it with intention, because the best version of yourself, strong, energized, confident, and fully alive, is still available to you. It is waiting for you to claim it, one handful at a time.